Good.
Delicious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely. This would be one of my favorite steaks of all time.
I'm Justin Brunson from Brunson Meat Co. in Denver, Colorado.
Hello everyone, I'm Manny Barella and we are at Riot Barbecue.
Hi, I'm Paul C. Reilly from Coperta in Denver, Colorado.
My name's Seidel. Started Fruition Restaurant, Mercantile, which we're sitting in right now, and also Chook.
So today, I get to play with this baby. It's a 45-day dried aged ribeye from Justin Brunson.
We have here a Brunson Meat Company, dry aged, New York strip, bone in, one of my favorite cuts that I have ever tasted in my entire life.
I don't think I'm gonna share, Chris.
Today we are going to talk about dry aged beef because that's mostly what we do. Dry aged beef. Why do we do it? One, it makes it more tender through natural enzymatic breakdown. The second reason that we dry age beef is that it dehydrates. The water comes out of it, the beef flavor comes up. So it makes it more beefy, makes it more tender. I have a third reason that I do it. We actually inoculate all of our beef with mold strains, and those mold strains add this crazy popcorn brown butter hazelnut flavor. So those are the three big reasons we dry age beef. To really up the quality of it.
It does smell like popcorn. Oh yeah. Man, this smells, I'm excited about this one.
I think the first thing is you have to start off with amazing quality beef. I prefer beef that comes out of the Midwest. I grew up in Iowa, so I'm a little bit of a snob to Midwest beef. The corn in the Midwest is really, really amazing. Corn-fed beef is the best beef. We're looking for high marble scores, tenderness, great genetics. And I feel that the Angus beef that comes out of the Midwest is the best around. So that's why we choose to use black and red Angus from the Midwest. We bring all this beautiful beef from the Midwest back here to Colorado, and we rack it in our aging room. Our aging room has this microbial load of mold spores that grow on the beef. They actually eat protein, and that's what gives our beef this beautiful popcorny brown butter hazelnut flavor. You don't get that in a lot of traditional dry aging. You get more of a blue cheese flavor. What really separates our beef from everybody else's are our mold strains and the flavors that they give the beef. That's why we choose to do a noble mold dry aged beef method.
Really just imparts a flavor that I have never experienced before.
Some dry aged beef that I've eaten in the past is like really funky, like almost offensively funky, and this is just perfect. Like notes of buttered popcorn, toasted nuts. I get a little washed rind cheese on there and some roasted mushroom.
I get a lot of those same characteristics from tasting the meat, and it's just one of the best steaks I've ever had.
It just hits all those savory notes for me.
So noble molds, what are they? Noble molds are 4 strains of mold that naturally occur on food products, protein products to be exact, that we use those 4 molds together to give our beef the flavor of delicious brown butter, popcorn, and hazelnut. At the end of the first week, there's usually some powdery mold covering it. The second week kind of looks like a piece of brie cheese. And then in the third week, the fur starts to grow out. Usually by week 5, it's completely covered in this fuzzy white mold, and that's what gives us this beautiful, beautiful flavor.
I had this farm down in Larkspur, Colorado, and we made cheese there. We made sheep's milk cheese, and Affinois is the actual aging of cheese. I kind of consider this to be very close to aging cheese, really. A couple of the molds that he uses are similar molds to what we use in cheese making.
One of the strains of mold we use is really cool. It actually has a little piece of a water droplet at the end of it. I think we got some good video of it today, so it's really cool to talk about that. It's just how it naturally grows. It actually has this little water droplet at the end of it. It's just a really kind of a cool, unique mold that most people have never seen before. So how do you even start to learn how to dry age beef like this? Well, my past career, I was really into salami, and I learned a lot about mold and meat together. And I was like, how do I get this on fresh meat?
I've known about Brunson Meat Co. and its dry age program for beef since basically it was a brain fart of Justin's. And he told me he had this idea and he wanted to bring the best steak in the country.
8 years ago, I started in my garage. like all little businesses start, I feel like. And then we took everything that we learned from there and took it to a USDA factory and made it all legit.
What started in his garage and is now in some of the best steakhouses in the country. And it really, really holds up to how delicious it is. Dry aged bone and ribeye cooked up a little bit ago. It's so perfectly tender with, like I said, just that right amount of like nuanced flavor that's not overshadowing what great beef that it is.
We do 3 cuts. We do strip loins. We age those 35 days. We do short loins, which we age 40 days, and then ribeyes, which we age 45 days. So those pieces of meat are all different sizes. So the bigger pieces of meat need a little bit more time to get the age and the flavor that we're looking for. We bring them out of the aging room and we trim off all the funky mold on the outside. And then it looks like your traditional beef that you would usually see. It's more marbled because the beef is actually dehydrated. That's why it looks even more marbled than when it went in the first place. We portion cut into breaking your expensive stuff here. And then we portion cut. So if it's a 24-ounce ribeye, we cut into 24-ounce ribeyes. From there, they go through a cryovac machine and get vacuum sealed. And then everything goes in the box and gets frozen.
Dude, look at this fat. I'm sorry, I'm just really excited.
We actually had some tests ran at the University of Wisconsin Meat Lab. And we have proof that our beef is 10% more tender after freezing with no more purge. So that's why we sell our beef frozen.
For a steak like this, to be honest, man, I would just do salt and pepper. I dry brine them. So what I do is I put the salt and pepper an hour and a half to 2 hours before when I'm gonna grill it. And then I leave it at room temperature so it makes the grilling a little bit more even. And I like to get just the sear and then just the temperature that you prefer. In my case, is medium rare. Instead of having sear and then a line of gray because the meat was cold from the center. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're just gonna put a little bit of salt and pepper, make it rain, and I season it heavily. It's a thick piece of meat. Go even on the sides. You want everything to be nicely seasoned. I'll put some pepper. Freshly ground pepper is always better. So we ground this today in the morning, and that's what I decided to use. So something that I have to explain to people that are not familiar with grilling or with cooking is that imagine that if you're driving 100 miles an hour, it takes you a certain time to stop, right? So if we want to achieve 125 degrees on a medium rare, we don't stop at 125 because it's going to carry over about 10 to 15 degrees. Depends on the temperature that you're cooking at. In this case, very hot. So we stop at 110 to achieve 125. And you know, like there's a lot of restaurants and a lot of chefs that go like the old school methods, you know, like the whole doing this. You know, like if you have hard working hands, your hands are gonna be a little harder than somebody that just started to cook. So this is the best thing that you can do. Just get yourself a thermometer. There's nothing wrong with using a thermometer. They're made for a reason. And that way you can be sure that you can accomplish the temperature that you want. There's no shame in using thermometers. I don't care what anybody says. No, one of the most important parts about grilling or cooking your steaks, you have to let them rest. If you cut them right when they come out of the grill or the oven or the cast iron pan, there's gonna bleed out everywhere. So think about when you get a burn, what do your muscles do? They just seize, right? So right now the muscles in the protein, they're just seized. And if you cut through it, they're just gonna squeeze the juices out of the meat. But if you let them rest 5-10 minutes, there's different numbers. Everybody has a different theory. And the juices just spread throughout the fibers of the steak as it rests, allowing it to be moistured. pica. You don't want it spicy. Good. Oh my God. Hey, Justin. Thank you so much for breakfast. See the funkiness? Good things ain't cheap and cheap things ain't good. Or unless it's street food in Mexico. So good. Best breakfast ever, dude. Oh my God. I'm so glad I decided to do this.
Yeah, so where can you find our beef? You can go to our website, www.brunsonmeats.com, and order all these beautiful cuts right to your doorstep. You can find us in the finest steakhouses and restaurants all over the country, from California to New York, Chicago. Here in Denver, you can find us at Mercantile, Garden Grace, the Brown Palace. We really focus on working with the best restaurants. Our product's really expensive. There's a lot of loss in it, and prime beef, as we know right now, is the highest part it's ever been, ever. We would love it if you got on our website and ordered some.
We're taking the New York bone in, simple seasoning with salt, black pepper. I really like to taste the flavor of the beef. No marinades, nothing crazy. We do have like an herb olive oil that we add to the steak as we're seasoning it, so it doesn't stick to the grill. Just grilling this on a crosshatch, probably for about 12 minutes total time. Medium rare is what we're going for. We'll pull that off, let it rest for 4 to 5 minutes, and then slice it up and enjoy. I'm gonna go grab my other chef, Alex, and he's gonna tell you what we've prepared the steak with today.
I am Alex Grenier. I'm the current exec chef here at Mercantile. Obviously, Mercantile's had a pretty storied relationship with Justin Brunson, and so we serve his dry aged strips here. Kind of what we wanted to do is just kind of allow the steak to take the centerpiece of everything and then kind of have little accoutrements all around it, almost like a big giant meat provisions board. So we have a cipollini onion mostarda and also canola mushrooms right here in Denver. Conserva with that, and then we do a lovely little black garlic coulis and then just some fresh pea tendrils, so you can kind of dip and dab all the way around the board. I really like the cipollini onion mostarda quite a bit, so I might just do a little bit of that with some black garlic and we're good to go. But woo! Oh yeah, made a mess. That's how you can tell it's good. Yum.
Delicious. One of the most flavorful steaks. Has nice beefy flavor. That age added that kind of nuttiness and brown butter flavor to it. It's just a very delicious steak. As far as comparing this to a prime bone-in New York that you would get anywhere else, the flavor cannot be matched. It's just incredible. And it's just something new for our guests, something for them to try. And many of them have probably not had beef that's flavored like this. And I don't think it's for everybody, but those that appreciate some different flavor and different characteristic in the beef, I think it's a great steak. Yeah, absolutely. This would be one of my favorite steaks of all time. Hopefully we don't have to do that again.
How did I get here? I was a chef. I was a meaty chef, and I love meat.
Justin was the meat guy in Denver.
So Justin Brunson has been a dear friend of mine. We used to cook right next door to each other at Mizuna and Luca here in Denver, Colorado. So we'd often meet after service in the back door, having a beer.
It just made sense when I got out of the restaurant business to get into the meat business.
Justin and I actually broke our first pigs together. Just seeing his reaction and breaking down that first pig, I don't know, it was probably 15, 20 years ago. I knew that he was going to be a meat man for life. And he has taken that persona and done TV shows about meat, and obviously his restaurant Old Major and charcuterie and curing. I mean, the guy just can't get enough beef.
So after 22 years in the restaurant business, here I am in the meat business, far away from Masterpiece Deli and Old Major and all the hustle and bustle of the restaurant business. And I respect all of you out there so much that do it every day. It's a wonderful career. It's a great path for everybody. I love cooking in restaurants. I love working on a team. The restaurant business is a real special thing. So I love to still be in the hospitality business, just on the meat end of things these days. It's really great to work with some of the best chefs in the United States, providing them with super high-end proteins.
Of course, he's going to make one of the best steaks in the country, and I'm proud to support him.
And now to see him take those skills into his dry aged beef program, it's just a great thing to watch.